Do you guys ever really think about how, like, I'm not trying to get political about anything. I'm just using this as an example. Like, the war in Iran right now. Like, how devastating it is to the people that live there. How President Trump said he was going to nuke all of Iran, everybody in it, everything in it. All because they wouldn't open the strait. And I'm like, you ever think about the fact that from like a religious or spiritual viewpoint, or even if you zoom out further from that smaller minded way of thinking, no disrespect intended, it, but from that smaller way of thinking to the bigger way of thinking, the realistic realism ideology, the principle, the truth, the hardcore truth of life itself, that nobody answers for the things they do in life, like at all. Whether you're a good person, whether you're a bad person, I mean, we all live, we do the choices, we do the things we do, we make the choices we make, and then we die. And that's the end of our life. Like, you don't actually pay for the life you lived. There's there's been no proof that there's an afterlife to where you pay penance for how you lived. Scientifically, your atoms turn into other things when you die. They bind with other atoms around you. So you might become part of the wall, or you might become part of a tree, or you might be part of a bird, or your dog, or your cat, or your brother, or your sister, or some shit. But, like, you're never gonna be another conscious living being again. Like, you're just gonna dissipate into the nether of life. Like, so you never pay for the things you do. Like, and I just totally, in that moment of thinking that just now, like a minute ago, fully totally understood, looking at this situation with Iran, why people wind up developing complexes against authority figures. Like, just in general, I don't mean like you have to be anti-government or a punk or an anarchist or something like that, but like, I totally understood the whole vibe of people bulking against authority, because it's like, who are you to have put a rule over top of my head in this life? Like, who are you at all? Like, you're not God, you're not master, you're not owner, you're not anybody. You're another human being with no ability to tell me how we got here, no ability to change where I'm going after I die. You're no one. You're literally nobody. You're no one. You're just another person. Like, so I totally understood immediately vigilante justice. And I said I totally would have no problem taking it personally upon myself to be a person like that. To just live a life of vigilante justice, just purely. Because who's gonna do it for you if you don't go out there and do it for yourself? Like, truly. Like, I totally understand and could totally buy into that ideology and that way of life. Like, I get it. Like, I'm not saying I didn't understand the concept before, but like, I get it on a much deeper level now. Just looking around at everything that's going on, it's just kind of like, you never truly pay for the things that you do if you remove religion and spirituality out of the way, and that's just a hopeful thing more than it's anything else, really. Can't be proven, can't be disproven. We've not had mass contact from people after they've died. I mean, you've had people say, I feel like I was contacted, or I hear my grandma talk to me in my living room, or this and that, but they're always one offs, and they're random situations, or people who say they've experienced the afterlife when they were clinically dead for 10 minutes, or, little situational things that can't really be explained away, but not in mass numbers so strongly that it can be proven that it's a strong, solid fact for everybody's life. So ultimately, we can only conclude that there's nothing really out there after you die. So there really is no justice at the end of it all. I mean, like, how you could live a terrible life, you could be a totally animalistic to everyone and everything around you, and the Christian scripture says the wages for sin is death. But I'm like, but your atoms are gonna just go on to rebirth into other things, so you get a whole another chance. And I'm like, so you could just live your whole life being a total tyrant and then die, and you still get the chance to do it again and as a bird. So like I'm like you know you get to be totally free and unchained and forgiven just because you died. I'm like it wasn't like you were killed for what you did. You simply died of old age, and that makes it okay. Like I totally get vigilante justice, and I'm like so on board with that idea, so for it. So I just have a new appreciation for people who are into that whole vigilante justice thing. Like I totally I get it.